I'm Chelsea Zaccato.
And I'm Natalie Heacock.
And this is Lumber Slingers.
Each podcast, we will be bringing you relevant and useful industry information, including interviews with top lumber professionals and discussion of current events in the industry.
Whether it be lumber grading, industry and market trends, or who's who in lumber, we hope to extend your current tally on industry knowledge.
Hello, we're back.
And better
Good
than
morning.
ever.
Back and better than ever, baby. Happy to be here.
We did it, guys.
Took a little
We
week
did it.
off. We were all traveling,
Yes.
except for Trent.
Yeah, I didn't travel at all. I just stayed at home and stayed at home. It was a rough weekend. There was nothing going on because the weather was kind of wonky around here. So, yeah.
Oh, I love a weekend of nothing going on. I don't even know what that's like.
Yeah.
Well, it was supposed to be a lot going on, but everything gets canceled. Like, Quinn's playing baseball, and her past 2 baseball practices have been canceled because it rains. Like, yesterday, it was like, the high was like 50 here. I'm like, it is May, right? You know that, Mother Nature, right? Like, let's kind of move this summer stuff forward there, bud.
What's everybody
Yeah.
doing for Mother's Day? It's this weekend.
Literally nothing. I'm so excited. I told everyone I want to do nothing.
Yes.
So
That's
you
a-
got
But what that
Wait.
actually means is that I want my husband to make breakfast and serve me in bed.
Does he know that?
No, I need to tell him today, probably.
Look at that, yeah.
Should probably mention that today. I told him I wanted the pool to be fully operational by Mother's Day, and he has been working hard. It's my job to take pool samples to the pool store, and he went and took a pool sample yesterday.
Very nice.
It's a pre-Mother's Day delight.
Yes.
How about you, Chels?
I did also, I also told my husband what I wanted to do, and I wanted to get brunch at our favorite restaurant and then do nothing. I want to sleep, take a nap,
I want to lay
have
in
a nice
bed.
brunch. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Just hang out with my family. Been traveling a lot the last 2 weeks, and I just want to be home. So, yay, I'm excited for that.
I have no idea
Yeah.
what we're doing because my wife has not told me yet.
You better ask her.
I did ask her, and I was like, then she got like, she got busy doing something, and I keep asking her. She's like, all right, oh, hold on a second. So I'm like, hopefully I can throw it together. I mean, I got a couple little gifts that I got for her. It's because I just for Mother's Day, I don't go crazy, but a couple of things that happened just to come up, and I was like, oh, these are cute little things for her. So
That's
and
nice.
Quinn made her something at school that is so freaking cute. Like, oh my gosh, like I was reading, I was like tearing up because like what she put in there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. But
Aw.
real quick excited about that. I'm going to transition. It's not fair because Father's Day is in June, and I've never gotten anything from school because they're not in school. I'm like, can't you preemptively have them make something for me? Like,
My
I never
kids
get anything.
preemptively do that before end of
Yeah,
school.
I don't
Like
get
their
anything.
teachers have them make a Father's Day deal.
Nope, nothing. She gets like she got a present they made and then an actual like card thing, and I'm like, I don't get anything. This is
I'm going to be in Italy for Father's Day.
I was just looking. Yeah, it's
my-
the 21st.
Birthday.
nice.
Guess we'll have to skip this year. Whoops.
You still celebrate there?
Just kidding, Nick. Have I told you guys how much I love my husband? So sweet and
No.
amazing, kind,
Great.
and listening.
Yes, he always listens.
He listens to the intro every time.
He likes our banter and then shuts it off. Does not care about the news.
Yes.
See, I've been having to rail on Anne because she hasn't been listening to that much as much recently as she used to. So it's like I'm like referencing things. I'm like, you didn't listen. Like that's your one job is just to listen.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. And so she was super behind. Quinn listens more than her. I'm like, really? She loves it. She's like, Daddy, that's you. Like it's you,
Oh, that's
Daddy.
cute.
I'm like, yes, it is, honey. She's like, I like listening to you, Daddy. I'm like, oh,
That's
Yes.
cute. You know,
Real
you can
quick
always
rant-
kind of like fast forward it. Although
Yeah.
you talk pretty fast, Trent. I don't know what you would sound like fast forward. Fast forwarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny you say it because that's literally like how you do performance reviews, like and throughout your whole life for different things. That's always been on there. It's like slow down, and I'm like, okay, never gotten it down. Still not there. Still trying. Not there.
Still trying.
Yep. But a really quick random thing. I don't know. I'm sure. I know you haven't experienced this yet, Charles. But Nat, I'm sure you've experienced this. But like one of my favorite things in the world is when Quinn is at her open gym class and she wants to get picked up. So she'll call me, and hearing her talk on the phone is literally the sweetest, cutest little thing in the world. Because you hear a little voice, she's like, "Daddy, can you come pick me up?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll be there, honey." She's like, a little posh, like, "Thank you, Daddy. I love you." I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so
It is.
cute." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I love this so much. It's so wonderful."
It feels really innocent. Like they don't really know how to use a phone yet. Like they're not like that confident. So they're like, Mom,
Yep. Yep.
Mom,
Yep.
Mom, it's me. It's me, Henry. Mom.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, I know.
Okay, what
Yep.
do you want?
Who else would this be?
Henry's doing
plane.
this. Henry's doing this thing, and I think he's doing it on purpose, where he keeps calling me from random phone numbers. So now I literally answer every random phone number I get, which I hate doing.
Mhm.
But he'll be like, I don't have a phone, so I had to call you on Donnie's. I don't have a phone, so I had to call you on Stevie's. I'm like, quit it. You're just doing that on purpose. Mom, are you coming to my track meet today? Okay, bye. Like, what?
Okay.
He's just trying to get a phone out of me.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Like, it's not working yet, bud. Not working
Yeah.
yet.
And, everyone has a phone besides him. He's the last person to have a phone. Traumatizing.
See, I'm still going by I'm going to get Quinny a watch with a phone line on it before a phone. Cause I'm like, that's a good transition. If she needs
He
to
does
call me,
have
she can do
friends,
it.
but then
Yep.
they're all his friends are always just like this, like talking into their
Look
yeah.
like secret agents.
Yeah. We are gonna get him a phone for 13, we decided.
Yep. I think that's a
13,
good age.
where it's at. Teenager,
Yeah.
phone.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what, my nephew, when he got his phone, like it's striking how quickly they become just like everyone else in the context of just
Addicted?
like he's just in it all the time. Like, like and even to doing like the little cliche things, like, used to go like do simple things like say just, for example, you go to the bathroom, you'd be boom, in and out. You get a phone, you're like, well, I'm in there like 10 minutes reading. You're like, where did he go? It's just like, it's just you get distracted, get in the zone. It's just like we'll be talking at like dinners and he's like looking at his phone. Well, I shouldn't say at dinner, we're not at a dinner table, but like, after you dinner and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh, man, like, so I'm with you. I like to delay it because of that, because the negative aspect, like if they only could just call like back in the day, it's like I'd give it to her now. Like the old Nokia phones where you're not doing the other stuff, like sure, take it, whatever. But when you can do anything and everything, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
It's scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's so
Chelsea will
much
be there soon. Hey, Chelsea, why
I
don't you tell everybody your news about last night? What happened to you?
yeah, I slept for almost 12 hours. I'm so tired. That's why my face is so puffy.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Congratulations.
amazing. I don't think I've slept for 12 hours since I had Frankie. So, and it's because Frankie also slept, basically went to bed right after she went to bed. And she was still asleep when the nanny got here at 8 a.m. So that was awesome. Yeah, that's
So
just,
proud of you.
yeah, it's good.
There's nothing better than a 12-hour sleep coming off a NALA regional bender.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back trips, and I'm drained, and I feel, I just felt like I needed to sleep hard, and I did. I think I got into to REM, like, a couple times, which I don't know if I do anymore.
Um,
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Also, too, I'm off of 2 back-to-back trips as well, and it's hard. Back-to-back's not good.
It's just hard on your body to fly and everything that
Pack, unpack, repeat, twist, yeah.
pack. Yeah.
How was the regional?
It was good. Wow, it was huge. There was 210 people that
oh my goodness.
attended the NALA Regional Vancouver meeting. So that's the biggest one that NALA has, definitely. And there was both sides represented, US and Canada at this meeting. It was held at the Terminal City Club in downtown Vancouver, BC. It's a beautiful place. They had a panel speak on, basically the state of what's happening in Canada with tariffs and production and supply and the impact that the tariffs have had on Canadian businesses. And just some of the takeaways I had was unless we can come to an agreement on both sides, there's just not a lot of runway for some of these BC producers. So the call to action was just to come together and come up with some solutions. And one person in the audience, when they were doing a question and answer, just said, basically, he's asked BC companies to watch their business. I mean, when these anti-dumping duties come on, they're devastating to these companies, and to just monitor their businesses better when there's that much volume going into the States, just having some type of, processes in place that can help
Quota
prevent
system?
that. Yeah, and that's what they're moving towards, is having a quota system if we can come to an agreement on both sides. So it's just there's not a lot of other options for Canadian producers in terms of export markets. I mean, the US also plays around in export market. So, they need America. They need advocacy from their government, both sides. And so there's I can't say it was a warm and fuzzy meeting. It was very serious in how it's affecting companies, and how much business has gone. I think they said 20% year over year. Uh,
Yeah,
45%,
Wow,
duty plus tariff
it's a lot.
it's a lot.
it's
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see all these familiar faces, and overall, I mean, I think people are still pretty optimistic. People are showing the 210 people showed up. So we want business to work, and we want to continue to be in the lumber industry. So I'm hoping that there's some type of solution that's fair for both sides. And yeah, so I'd say people are, I mean, they're Canadian. They're they're naturally optimistic. So but it definitely I didn't leave feeling like, "Oh, great. Business is great," I personally think that there's some companies that are just not gonna make it. The smaller mom and pop shops, like, there's not enough runway for how much business has been impacted.
Mhm.
I think 3, like, not the exact same if the people there, but, like, just in the past week, I think, like, 3 manufacturers of furniture in Canada closed. Like, or, like,
Mhm.
in that kind of in that industry, like, gone completely. I mean, you're starting to see the effects of it because it doesn't obviously happen usually immediately, but, like, those, downstream, companies like that, you're like, like, I wonder how it'll happen for, like, pallet companies as well, because there's a lot of those. A lot of them are smaller. I don't know if they can handle a lot of the changes, and all the costs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, it's not just the tariffs, but it's the bond that you have to support the tariff. It'd be hard. It'd
I
be
would
hard.
say, yeah, the word to use is complex. It's not one
Complex.
thing. There's so many things. Just death by a thousand cuts. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
literally.
was in Louisiana this week and we went to a active logging site and I was like, "So, what kind of hoops do you have to jump through? What kind of permits do you have to do to?" None. Like, very minimal. Depends on, like, what kind of road you're using to get in and out of that area. There might be a permit for that road. There might be some, like, upkeep to the road, but beyond that, the regulation is non-existent in comparison to what we go through in Oregon and Washington for a harvest. It's wild. I was like, "Oh, there's a stream here, so, like, what about your riparian zones?" And they're like, "Oh, well, we have to, like, put these logs down if we disrupt a stream, but then we just take them." I was like, Oregon would have a freaking
nightmare.
meltdown.
Mhm.
I mean, it was really good I thought it was the entire United States. I didn't realize that, like, a lot of the regulation is heavily focused on the Northwest.
Mhm.
I mean, also, like, Southern Yellow Pine, they can harvest every 30 years, so I think that makes things a little bit different.
It does grow a lot faster. That's for sure. Yeah. And yours was also a NOLA trip, right? I mean, your own NOLA trip, your 10
Yes.
group.
Yes, it was my CFO 10 group. We had 7 of our 8 CFO level people, comrades.
Peers.
Peers, thank you. That's a good one. Much better. Yeah, we met and we made our own trip because some people can't make it to Traders Market. And so we just decided to make our own trip where we could get the majority of people together. And so it was fantastic. We did a lot of work, a lot of meetings, and then we did a couple fun things because we were in New Orleans. So 2 of our members are in Louisiana. So we got to see their facilities, which was great. And yeah, it was really fun. Last year, I hosted with someone from Hampton. So we're kind of moving around to each member's location to see their facility. It's been amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
So, yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, it sounds like we've had a lot of good industry networking. And
Mhm.
now let's talk about what's happening in the industry. Trent, take it
Well,
away,
it's
buddy.
no, I mean, it's interesting because I mean, it hasn't slowed down. I mean, the news has been kind of bonkers across the board with everything. I mean, because we're getting into a very interesting time with all the results coming out for the first quarter and whatnot. So you're able to kind of see how the first quarter's gone, and then you're seeing at the same time mergers and acquisitions are still going on. So it's just been, yeah, there's no lull to say the least. Like, I mean, to start off with, UFP this week announced that they had acquired the operating assets of John Rock, which is a pallet manufacturer in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. One thing about them is they did acquire not every single site. There is one site that is in Dillon, Virginia that is still going to stay with them, but they acquired the other 3 operating sites. And that was just on the heels. I think they had, what was the other? There's one other acquisition that happened recently too with them. I think this is the second one by them in the past couple of weeks. Cause yeah, I think we put that in the post we had last week that online, since we weren't able to meet. I mean, they're not slowing down. I mean, that's a pretty big one overall. It was a $40 million purchase. It brings over 250 new people to their companies, and it's pretty, it's not nothing to sneeze at by a long shot.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and even on like the retail side, Carter Lumber announced that they had acquired Gaster Lumber in Savannah, Georgia. So I mean, you're seeing it from the higher in the supply chain, lower in the supply chain, and there was other smaller ones as well. And one other thing that I thought was very interesting that happened in the past week was just kind of an update on one of the previous ones that we had, I believe, spoken about just real quickly, which was Patrick Industries and LCI. They
Not
had
Patrick Lumber.
announced, yeah, yep, yep, not Patrick Lumber, Patrick Industries in Indiana. They had mentioned how they were in discussions about, potentially merging, and they announced then earlier this week that they had terminated all the discussions about that. So I want to kind of update on that one just to make sure there was like, kind of put a bow on that one.
I like the merger of equals
Yep.
wording.
Yeah, yeah. So kind of on the same topic we were speaking about with the Canadian sawmills, Conifex had made a note in one of their little press releases about they're having a temporary curtailment of operations at their Mackenzie, BC facility for a 7-week period starting on the 19th of May through July. So, but once again, just a short, small curtailment, not like close or anything like that. That's at least good because anytime you see curtailment, you're like, is it indefinite or is it short?
Hmm.
Happy about that. Then personnel wise, we started seeing some more promotions as well. Wanted to highlight one on the retail side that's kind of close to me because they're headquartered in Iowa, which is Spon and Rose Lumber Company. They announced that Dave Davis is going to be retiring as CEO. And on the same token, they said that they had appointed, my goodness gracious, I'm blanking
Matthew
out on his name.
Parrish.
Matthew Parrish, thank you. I was looking at his picture. I was just like, I kept seeing Dave Davis' name, Matthew Parrish, and they have a headshot there, which is a very nice headshot. I like that as well. Matthew Parrish there. So, what do you
Ninth
think of the
Very nice.
headshot?
CEO in the company's 122-year history. Founded in 1904.
Wow.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
So, with that all being said, we get into the more Natalie happy part of the news, which is the quarter results. There was so many have come out. So,
So
I mean, we
many.
got more that came out today. So, I mean, I'm highlighting a couple of ones just because I feel like Blue Links has been the most interesting company that I've watched since I've been in the industry, over the past like 15 years. Cause I remember when I first got in there, like when I look at their financials, doing the stuff I did, I was like, oh, these are interesting. Like they're very, like I remember people would question, what are they doing? How's this going on? And they've gone from, having them be questioned about, how are they going to operate? Because someone had told me that Blue Links was started because they were a wholesale part of Georgia Pacific, and then they got spun off, and then all this other stuff had happened. So seeing them kind of go from like, the finances they had, which were, kind of very interesting, the working capital is kind of rough, I believe, from when I first got in there to now, they're very, very stable. I mean, like in the first quarter of this one, they were kind of one of the more brighter spots, so to speak, that I saw.
Hmm.
Their net sales, for example, were 731 million, which is an increase of 22 million over the first quarter of fiscal 2025.
Jeez, thanks, Darrow.
Yeah, yeah, right. And it's interesting because a lot of it was from like the specialty products. So it was just interesting to me because I mean, you have other companies that are in that similar space, and it's just in though a lot of the other companies, were slightly down, here and there, but they still were, going hard in the paint. So I was very. It's been kind of cool to see them come along. I think that the CEO they have now in there, he's really, kind of taken, a great look at them and gotten and righted the ship, so to speak. Not saying it wasn't before he came in there at that point, but it's just been really cool to see them, just really, boom, boom, boom. And now the little rough patch they may have had years and years ago, like 15 years ago or so, has now been phenomenal. I mean, they're doing very
Right.
good relative.
Yeah. When I first got into the industry, it was like a rough patch for them.
Yep.
Now
Yes.
now
Hmm. So another one I wanted to highlight was then Boise Cascade because we all know them, and I think that they're one that's interesting to see just how they're doing because they have their hands in a lot of different areas as well. They had a net income of 17.8 million for the first quarter compared to net income of 40.3 million on sales of 1.5 billion, and the other one was also 1.5 billion for the quarter of last year. I kind of worded that bad. I'm sorry. So it was the net income wasn't as high, but the sales overall were so high, and it had to do with a lot of some what was it? I forgot what they had done on here. Where I just looked at oh, where was it at? They'd had some small little decreases here and there, like, but there was nothing really major in like the building materials distribution. The sales had just decreased only by 1%. The wood products division for the first quarter had decreased by 4% year over year. So the thing that I think is interesting is, I mean, it wasn't a great quarter, but it also wasn't a terrible quarter. So I think that for what it would be as a first quarter in this year coming into it, with everyone being very kind of like scared about how it would go, I didn't see at
Mhm.
least a major, major like down huge, huge, huge here, in that part of the supply chain. Now the hitting the mills and stuff like that, that's a little bit of a different story. Once we get more of those, we can talk about those like next week because those you're starting to see a lot more losses, I think, overall with them.
Yeah, I read the Western Forest Products release yesterday,
Yep, that just came out. Yep.
which is interesting. But I like how they put in there, like they tell you what they were able to harvest comparatively to like Q1 this year to Q1 last year. Like the harvest is down, so it only makes sense that revenues would be down that follow that. So it's
Yep.
interesting.
For the rest of the years. Go through all those and just see how they compare to what they had said initially at the end of last year, compared to now, and just see if things have changed a lot, and just see how the kind of the temperament of the industry is per the outlooks going forwards.
Mhm.
More on that in the near future. Ooh.
I just wonder how many of these mills are gonna continue to vertically integrate because they have to. I mean, it's evolve or die. So Western has one kiln that's already up and running. The next one's supposed to be up mid-2026, and they're putting in a thermal kiln.
So yeah. And it was a little testy of a first quarter, but nothing horribly egregious, at least on those two, obviously. Now, on the mortgage side, applications they had decreased 4.4% from a week earlier, and the 30-year mortgage rate is now averaging at 6.37%. So it's up last week when it was at 6.3%, and a year ago this time it was at 6.76%. So obviously down from a year ago, but still when you got that little tease there in what was it,
Mhm.
February, the end of February, early March, it's just like, oh man, we hit 5 point, below 6 in the 5.9s, and then all of a sudden we're back up to here. And I mean, you see it, if you're looking at the chart, you can see it just coming down. It's like whoop whoop whoop. It's very like, it's just, oh man, it's tough because I was very excited.
Quit teasing us, Freddie.
I know, right?
Such a little tease.
So lumber prices is kind of a big nothing burger in the context that compared to last week, they were flat. They were 524, and last week they were 524. Nothing had changed at all. Now they are down 5% of $28 from a month ago when it was 552, but week to week,
Meh, meh. And
I
that's
mean, I
your
still
lumber
think
news.
still a pretty strong number for lumber prices. I mean, it's holding steady, but
hmm
mid fives, that's a pretty strong number.
well, especially considering the I don't know, this the market as a whole. I mean, obviously, from the Canada US stuff, the inflation that we're having here, the people not really knowing how things are going. I mean, gas prices are just bonkers across the board. I mean, there's so many factors that could make things just be terrible. The fact that things aren't going downhill fast for it's like in some of these areas, I think is a huge positive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the very telling quarter is going to be this next one, because this is when we need to really see things ramp up. Like if things don't ramp
Yeah.
up in 2Q,
Ooh, too cute. I like that.
yeah, yes, yeah, it's gonna be.
Is that new, Trent?
Yes. I'll throw in some cool things every once in a while.
Yeah. I'm starting to be like, "Ooh, too cute."
Too cute.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we'll be here next week.
Alrighty.
Whoop,
Sounds great.
We'll have a little break in June, but besides that,
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
here we
yes.
We'll
are.
have an update from we're attending the Oregon Women in Lumber event next week. So share a nice little brief recap on that too.
Yeah,
Yes.
which happens in 3Q this year. On that note, see you guys later.
And
Bye.
have a happy Mother's Day to both of
Thank
you and all the mothers
you.
out there as well.
Happy
Thanks, Trent.
Mother's Day.